All right, so we talk about the paranormal, right? When we look at paranormal activity, there was even a movie called Paranormal Activity, and Paranormal Activity actually is categorized as a horror movie, a terrorizing horror movie, and it's pretty scary. But why is Paranormal Activity very scary? Because it's something that science can't explain it, unless you're doing something like psychokinesis as well, which with your mental abilities, you can make an object move, right? So when we look at this technology, as far as the metaverse, when we put on, I played virtual reality games, right? And I remember that, the environment was set up. I couldn't see my physical hand in front of me though. When I had my virtual reality goggles on, I was doing this, I couldn't see my hand. Now, unless I put a mechanism on my hand, then I'd be able to see my hands. So you got to question what you can and cannot see here, right? But sometimes it would sound far out when you try to explain it in a way that wouldn't be able to make sense either. So I'm going to show you something, because when you look at the word paranormal, right, and you look at the prefix para, I did a nice little simple Google search, but the para prefix, definition of para means beside, alongside, or beyond. All right, aside, like you got parathyroid, you got a paramedic, right? But then you got something called paranormal. So I want to show you something real quick. Flip the camera over, and I'm gonna have you guys listen to this real quick. Where we at?
And stretches it is really remarkably accurate.
Now, to use your avatar to teleport to a meeting or sit down for a chat in the metaverse, you'll also need realistic virtual spaces to be with people in. So let's look at that. Contrary to how this looks, this is actually not a video of the physical world. It's a 3D reconstruction of a mock apartment, which I guess just became clear when that bowl took off by itself.
So you see, like, the environment set up, right? So right here, this is not the real world. It's a copy of a mock apartment. Things were moving by themselves, right? Now, as the observer, if you're in this space and you're not aware of what's going on, you wouldn't be able to explain how that moved from there to there, right? So check this.
Exactly. So what you can see here is
now look at this.
Researchers moving around various objects on the right.
So you see, it's a paranormal activity. This is happening alongside or beside, right? What's normal. So this is normal. This would be considered paranormal. Okay? So look on.
And then on the left, you can see the high fidelity real-time rendering of the space and the moving objects on the left without the researcher. So what's critical here is that this is all happening in real time. That's what's novel here, and that's what differentiates it from CGI. So what we've seen so far is pretty awesome, but
I mean, it's an hour-long video that you can watch, but again, let's say you got into this reality, this new reality that was created, and you forgot. Let's just say you forgot. You developed some form of amnesia, right? I mean, think about this. When you get knocked out and you come back, the first thing, like, normally one asks is, well, what happened? What happened? Or let's say, in between states, you, like, even in the dream or whatever it may be, you lose that memory. Let's say you somehow have a paradigm shift into a reality and you just completely forgot. You immersed yourself into a new reality and you start to see something like that. You don't realize that there's a programmer alongside, right? Or a researcher actually moving the objects. So you would consider that paranormal. Start to question what you can and cannot see here in this reality. You get what I'm saying? Again, I've put virtual reality goggles on and I can't see my physical hand or my physical body unless I actually had a mechanism to actually show my body parts in the virtual reality world. All right? It's just like this. Like when you have, let's say, like I mentioned in my previous video about the hypnosis part, right? When you're aware that you're going into a hypnosis session, I mean, you're more likely not to get hypnotized because you're having expectations, but you're aware, right? And when you watch TV, I mean, you go under a light hypnosis and you get programmed more easily. That's why they call it television programming, right? Because you're watching and you're channeling with, you know, you with your control, you change a channel and you channel information into your psyche and you get programmed because it's a television program, right? And then now with this happening, you know, we know what's going on, so we don't categorize it as something scary. But the only reason paranormal activity is scary is because science can't explain it, and you can't logically explain a paranormal activity. And what's unknown is usually scary. You see what I'm saying? So just looking at little things like this, why do I say that throughout this whole entire thing that's happening here, you can actually, you're literally, it's a revelation. This is the revelation. This is the apocalypto, like the revelation, the revealing, lifting of the veil. They're showing you everything that's actually happening, all right? And they're doing it through science. Again, science is the para to your technology, right? We can call it paratechnology because it's a copy of your technology, okay? You can do all these things that you're seeing, these cool things that you're experiencing now, that that they're gonna present you with, these new shiny toys. It's obsolete, it's outdated. You already have these abilities. How do you think the Egyptian pyramids were once built? You get what I'm saying? These lost civilizations. What do you think happens now? The story of Moses, Exodus. Was Exodus really something where they were freeing the slaves from anything? If anything, we moved from slavery into a mental slavery. Because all these things you see here, it looks shiny, cool, harmless. But again, it's just, you got to be aware of these little things that are actually being presented to you. All right, every little thing, every little nook and cranny, right? But just question, is this in my best interest or is it not? You know, marketing, they create a need for you and you believe that you need these things. So again, just got to question all these little things. And I mean, that's all I got to say for this. I'm going to probably make more videos tying in little bits and points on these little things. But if you like this, like it, and we'll talk soon.